Folks, over the last 3 weeks, we have probably heard more about regional banks like Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic, and the list goes on and on. But you know what? What you may not realize is regional banks pay a critical component of the real estate market. By some accounts, they do 50% of commercial loans, and some people have reported as high as 60% for home loans. So, Mr. Brian Adamson, you and I are very active in the real estate business. I am curious if regional banks dry up and stop lending or make lending so difficult that almost no one gets a yes answer. Where do you think we go from there? Are you seeing anything like that yet?
Yeah, I am actually. There's some prominent credit unions in Michigan that do a lot of the commercial multifamily long-term debt, and they've been pulling back quite a bit over the last 4 months. So I think that that's probably indicative of more of what we'll be seeing.
Oh, for sure.
And so, it's going to be important, I believe, to kind of anchor in with some family office money. You got to get creative, I believe, going forward. And not only that, you got to have really good deals that, beat the stress test. You're not going to be able to just slide by anymore, right? You got to do the work. You got to really underwrite your deals, and you got to bring some low risk assets if you're going to try to get long-term debt on them because of this. They just won't be as lenient.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things you said there that I want to double down on to make people make sure they heard this. So Silicon Valley Bank rough and tough was a month ago. You just highlighted that these banks that you have relationships started pulling back 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the same thing. People on my channel will know that I had an asset review with one of the regional banks that I work with in Fresno, California. It might have been 6 months ago, maybe 7. But every year you got to go in, you got to show them your personal financial statement, you got to show them your reserves. It's part of the deal, right? When you do commercial loans. So we did that, pacifying colors, blah, 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 blah. Then he goes, "Hey, do you have some more time?" I'm like, "Of course I do." You always say yes to your banker. Yeah, of course I do. It's the right thing to do. So he reaches over and he pulls out this manila folder and he throws it on the table. He goes, "Do you know what that is?" He goes, "That's our loan book." I'm like, "Any chance I can look at it? See what's in there?" And he's like, "Well, I can tell you this much. We're not renewing half of them."
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
So not only are they going to get stricter on purchases, like you highlighted, I think there's about to be a lot of surprised owners shocked that they're I can already hear it. "I've never missed a payment. I got money at your bank. Why aren't you renewing my loan? You're forcing me to go out. I'm desperate." Oh my goodness. Not only refis are going to be harder, right? When
Oh,
their terms are
absolutely.
up. Crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going through refi right now on the bridge, and man, it's just been
It's tough.
knockout, drag out. They're moving the goalposts every other week. I mean, we've been
Yeah.
clear to close 5 times since December. It's insane, man. And
Yeah.
what we're feeling is not an aberration.
No, it's out there.
This is the new world that we're in, and everybody need to grab hold of it because this is the reality going forward, and it's only going to get worse with close to $450 billion in bad commercial debt coming due over the next 24 months.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
you got
it's
to get creative.
1.4 trillion in commercial. I think it's 450 in multifamily.
Multi.
So
Thank you for clarifying
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's that's crazy to think about, right?
It is
450 billion in
billion.
multifamily. Just nuts. So again, what I want people to hear this. So some people hear this and they get excited, which is okay. But dude, if you guys have learned nothing over the last year or so, this all takes time,
Mm.
right? Just because somebody, like I just told you, half their portfolio doesn't get refied, that doesn't mean their deals tomorrow. There will be extended pretend. They will buy 6 months. They'll do this. They'll do that. Deals will come. And if you're on my channel, you know that I think at the earliest they come is Q4,
Mm-hmm.
but probably in 2024. So again, do the work now, get your buy box, start networking, only do great deals. This is not the time for a good deal, Brian. No good deals, only great deals. This is going to be a
1,000%.
wild time.
1,000%. Even in my market, I would say the inventory has doubled on LoopNet in the last in the last 60 to 90 days, comparatively speaking to
Sure.
the 7 or 8 months. Like it literally, and so, I'm still sitting back because those are still
Oh
just
yeah.
they're marginal deals, but people are starting to realize they got to do something. By
Yes.
Q4 this year, oh, the deals will be sweet. The deals will be
Yeah.
really sweet. It'd be
Yeah.
more panic. They'll be a lot more open-minded than what they are today. Let's just say that.
Yeah. They'll become forced sellers. And again, I want to remind people I've been doing this 20 some odd years. There's a property I closed at the depth of the 2010 cycle, an
Mm-hmm.
apartment building. Um, it had been listed for $1.4 million for about 2.5 years. Right. The lender kept extending, kept giving the owner a chance to get out. Eventually, the bank had enough. We picked it up for 700 grand,
Wow.
50% off.
Wow.
But it takes time. And that example was 30 months, roughly 30 months.
For
It's
sure.
coming, but it's not today. I don't want people to hear all of this, get all giddy. This is the time to do the work, grow your network. If you know one banker, go meet two. If you know four bankers, go meet eight. Just keep networking and grow that footprint and never stop looking. You never know when pain shows up. It
That's
won't
right.
be it won't be an event. You'll just one day you'll wake up and go, "Oh my god, what happened there? What happened there? What happened?" Keep doing the work.
100%, Mike. And I think I've heard you mention this before, how you can't take this blanketed approach to what's happening in the market because these sellers are individuals and they have individual issues and circumstances, right? And so that's why it's so important to be doing the work and to be out here networking. And you never
Yeah.
know, you get an enroll with a broker who all of a sudden says, I got a client, they got to
They got to
get
get out.
this,
They
they got to
got
get
to get
out,
out.
right?
Yeah.
And so, it's so important. And another part that you touched on that's critical is building relationships with lenders. That is going to be imperative
Oh,
as you go forward,
yes.
because it won't be as simple as just getting somebody on the phone and trying to get them to do a loan for you. You got to have good working relationships that are well established and build that equity with these lenders before you actually need them.
Yeah, folks, this is the time to do the work, get prepared, learn your buy box, understand your market, build relationships. The opportunities are coming. It is clear as day. The dominoes are falling. You can't stop them, but they're not today. So
That's
get
right.
off your butt, do the work, continue to do it. Don't stop. And you too can find some amazing deals like Brian and his students are. Brian, how can people follow you?
Brian Adamson Real Estate on YouTube, and then also Brian Adamson Official on Instagram.
Folks, give him a follow. Let him know you came from one rental at a time so he keeps coming back and dropping this knowledge. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike.